Alberta taxpayers, I need your help for a second. I need you to help share the facts about the Alberta government's financial situation with all your friends and contacts, because this situation could impact the taxes you pay significantly. Now, as you may know, the Alberta government's finances are a mess right now. The debt's over $45 billion. The debt is going up by over $300 every single second. And yet some powerful special interest groups are saying, well, we can't make any reductions to spending or we'd end up with a healthcare system like this and all kinds of other crazy things. We're also hearing that the only way to solve the situation is by introducing a sales tax. This too is completely ridiculous. And I'm going to show you a whole bunch of numbers, and I'm going to include all the sources in the comment section below in case you'd like to take a look. Let's start with the Alberta government's budget for 2018. If we look at on page 11, what we see is that expenses for this year are going to be $56.2 billion. Now, if we look next door in British Columbia and open up their budget for this year, we see expenses of $53.6 billion. So it looks something like this. Now let's look at population figures. In Alberta, the population is about 4.3 million. In British Columbia, the population is about 4.8 million people. So in other words, British Columbia has about 500,000 more people than Alberta, and yet the Alberta government's spending about $2.6 billion more than British Columbia. Now, if we look at the numbers on a per person basis, we see that the Alberta government's spending about $13,000 per person, and yet BC is providing healthcare, education, fixing highways. They're providing the same services for a much lower amount. These guys are a lot more cost effective. Why on earth would we give these guys any more money? The government is not doing a good job with the money you provide. Now let's take a look at this. If the Alberta government spent for every single person what the BC government spends per person, we would end up with expenses of $47.7 billion. And if we look at the revenues, if we go back to the Alberta government's budget, we see that revenues are about $47.9 billion without a sales tax. So when we look at that big picture, if we could get our spending levels down to what BC spends per person, we would end up with a surplus of about $0.2 billion. No sales tax. We wouldn't have to see massive cuts to services and so forth. We just need the government to be more cost effective with the money that you provide it each and every day. I'm Colin Craig from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. Please share this clip with your friends and educate them about what's going on. If you like the work that we do, I ask you to consider joining us. You can do so for free at taxpayer.com. Thanks again.